Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome to the live. We are here to do a general reading for all signs. And we're doing this in honor of Day of the Dead. So I'll just give a little talk a few moments here while I'm waiting for everyone to get notified and come in. And Day of the Dead is celebrated in many cultures. And it's a day that's believed that the veil between the worlds is thin, and that our ancestors definitely have access to us. Um, it's easier for them to come through at this time. It's easier for us to discern messages from them at this time. And so it's a very special night. So I wanted to honor that by bringing forward ancestor messages for the collective. And so I've just called in ancestors of everyone who joins the live, ancestors of everyone who sees this in the replay. And just for the collective, I'm asking for messages for guidance. All right. And so we'll do it by sign, because that seems to be the easiest way that I can think of really to address everyone who may watch. And then you'll know that that message is for you. If by chance the messages don't seem to resonate, I want you to keep a couple of things in mind. Number one, you never force it to resonate. Number two, it is a general reading and meant for the collective. And number three, keep in mind that readings, especially with messages of this nature coming from the ancestors, they are privy to things that we don't yet know of and things that are going on behind the scenes. So I want you to keep that in mind, that and just because it may sound as if something isn't specifically coming through for you, you should know that sometimes these things have not occurred yet, and in coming days, weeks, and months, you will see the results of these messages. That's how I've always experienced it. Okay. So with that in mind, we can get started here. And let me pull up my cards here for the signs. So we're going to start with messages for Aries. Then we're going to move on to Taurus. And then we'll move to Capricorn. Okay? And that's how we'll go at this time. All right, Spirit, collective ancestors, I ask you for messages, first for the signs of Aries, then for our Taurus, and then for our Capricorn. Let's get some messages on the board for them. Lots going on out here for you guys. All these messages so far are in the reverse. All right, so first off is my lovely Aries people. Your first message comes by way of the Ace of Coins in the reverse, and it is followed by the Six of Swords, which is the Six of Cups. Okay. So, Aries, what I'm looking at here is what seems to be a lost opportunity. An opportunity, and I'm seeing this a couple of ways, Aries. First of all, with the Six of Cups here, I'm seeing where this is an opportunity, a lost opportunity in love. are with a love connection, someone from the past specifically. And then the other way that I'm seeing this for some of you, Aries, will be this is a loss of a financial opportunity. And it is because of you're not being able to participate in, say, a job or some type of financial investment type of thing because of your home responsibilities and those that you care for and take care of in your life. Okay. So, as you hear this, you're going to, as a collective Aries, need to decide since it's coming through with two distinctly different messages. You'll have to listen and decide which one resonates more closely with your situation. So, for those of you with the financial situation being addressed here, this is, again, this is you turning down something that comes your way that looks really good, maybe even something that you thought you were waiting on, Aries, to manifest for you. Because as you start to listen to the deal or to the job requirements, you realize that this is going to take your time and attention away from your family, away from your home, whether that's just your children if you're a single parent, or from your spouse and children. Um, and it's going to have a negative impact if you should engage it, the opportunity. It's going to have a negative impact on your home life, and it's going to have what I'm really feeling very strongly as a negative impact on those that you are responsible for caring for. And it just seems like this has been the golden opportunity that you have been trying to pull your way. That's what it seems to be. But really, it's kind of like you making a very mature choice here to preserve your family, preserve their needs so that you can, in other words, you're sacrificing this opportunity for the greater good in your life, which is those that you love and care about. Okay, Aries. And because of that, spirit is showing me that you will be rewarded. It's kind of like when people talk about uh, the diversion that comes in right before the real blessing hits. That's the energy that I'm getting here. Like, this opportunity is being offered up. But really, if you look at it very closely, you're going to see that it's the diversion um, before something huge hits that is really going to be well suited for you and well suited for your situation. Okay. So, if you take the diversion, you'll end up in this cycle of, constantly trying to keep up, constantly trying to meet your responsibilities at home and failing in both areas. And then this great gift becomes something of a great nightmare. But then if you were to pass on the diversion, and wait for and continue to manifest, you will have something come in that really does work well with your lifestyle, your family's life. It does not require um, energy from you that you should be giving your family, energy that you should be giving um, your spouse, energy, that you can't afford to give up, is what I'm hearing. For those of you that I spoke about with the love message, this is talking about you seeing what an ex comes in and is offering up, and maybe you don't see right away. But for those of you that have been waiting for an opportunity to be with this ex, once again, to reconcile, this looks like the golden goose, the golden gift, once again, right? But then you start to take notice of things where you're like, they said certain things with their mouth, but they really didn't offer me anything. Because, well, let me change that up. They offered it, but they really didn't mean it. There wasn't a true offer on the table, there wasn't something there of value. This offer holds no value because they don't plan to follow through. They plan to go ahead and engage you in the way that they know you expect and want long enough, Aries, until you actually get comfortable and they feel like they've lulled you to sleep a little bit. And then they revert back to their old ways because this person is showing up as someone who hasn't changed. The things about them that led to the initial breakup they have not worked on themselves, they have not changed a thing. So those things will they'll ultimately show their ugly head again. The the bad habits, the bad traits I'm talking about will show their ugly head again. And it will ultimately tear apart what it is that you think you're getting back into here. And really, it's going to turn into a situation which is more trying than whatever it was before for you, because now you're going to be kicking yourself and you're going to be saying to yourself, Aries, I really should have seen this coming. Why did I fall for this? And then you're going to fall into that self blame for something that isn't your fault, in the sense of this person being dishonest or showing you a mask, right? It's going to be, you really kicking yourself hard and setting yourself back in the areas of healing and romance. Okay, so you're better off just to go ahead, um, take your time, vet the offer very strongly, and in doing so, you're going to see pretty clearly up front what the red flags are. And you're going to be able to step away based on that. And with that, you will feel good, because when this person presents themselves and the red flags are there, it's going to be like, okay, yeah, you haven't really changed. And I see that. And I'm going to walk away. And you're going to, surprisingly, as much as you feel you want this person right now, surprisingly, that's going to give you peace, peace beyond measure, actually. And it's going to release some things in your heart, the pain, the agony, and it's going to allow this to be easy for you to then get over. And I think that is what Spirit is showing me, the whole purpose for this occurrence happening for you, Aries. All right. All right. So let's move on to Taurus and messages for Taurus. And Aries, thank you for joining me. And on your way out, I would encourage you to please go ahead and hit the subscription button for me. All right, Taurus. Let's take a look at your messages. And they come by way of I'm sorry. They come by way of the Knight of Coins, which is the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Four of Coins in the reverse. So what I'm seeing here, oh, what, you know what? Let me pull a clarifier before I speak. So I'm seeing, all right, yes. So my clarifiers are the Knight of Wands upright, along with the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. So what I'm seeing here, really, Taurus, is your refusal for many of you to work with someone, um, you've kind of like, and this is heavily coined, so this is financial matters. So your refusal to share and work with someone in the past in regards to finances, like maybe you were involved with someone and they had the idea, let's get a joint account, let's share our finances in that way where we both have easy access, open access. Um, and you refused, for many of you, and your refusal to do so led to a lot of ups and downs. And from where you're standing, from your viewpoint, this is how you viewed it: as your refusal, all of a sudden this person's demeanor may have changed towards you, and now you find yourself in, this whole regretful energy because you're like, well, why didn't I trust? Why didn't I? You like second guessing yourself. Why didn't I trust? Why didn't I just go ahead and move forward with what they wanted? It would be okay. Obviously, we're solidly together. So it's that kind of back and forth. And so now you, after some time, because I feel like that is not something that just happened, and now, after some time, you want to turn this whole thing around because you see what looks like potential damage in the partnership, um, and distance that was created by your decision to hold back and hold on to your own finances. So now you're looking to like drop your guards on this, basically, and get this person, kind of like on board with it, right? And okay, and I will say this especially for you feminines dealing with a masculine on this matter. If you try to change this now, okay, there's an element of revenge here on the part of your masculine. Your masculine will be in their feelings again, because now you're trying to turn this around, and now they're like, oh, okay, now Taurus wants to come around to my thinking, and they gave me a hard time to begin with, and all those built up resentments that they had, because there was resentment there when you refused to join their financially, together with them. There was some resentment there, even though they've been biting their tongue. But now that's all going to come to the surface again. And now they're going to make you pay, so to speak, for making that decision in the first place. So now the joining of finances becomes something negative because now you are leaving yourself open, Taurus, to anything happening in your financial matters. For others of you, and I feel this would be like, especially for you single Taurus who are maybe not dating one particular person or don't have a significant other at this time, you need to be mindful of a person you'll meet online or have met online maybe already, when they start talking to you about, oh, I've got this business idea, or oh, I just need a little help. I feel like if you've met this person in person, you may have only had like one or two encounters with them in person, but the majority of the time that you spend, that you feel like you've gotten to know this person, has been virtual. It's been an online thing. So that's where I see this type of relationship based, an online type of relationship. That person may have come out once or twice to meet with you in person, but surely it's not enough that you could truly vet this person in person and feel as if you really know them in that way, right? This is more virtual communication, DMs, uh, even it may have progressed to texting or even phone calls, but mainly this is a connection where you're mainly connecting again with this person online. For some of you, you've never even met this person in person, but you have spent maybe some time getting to know them. And if this has not occurred for you yet, this is coming up. Like you'll meet someone and they'll start this connecting with you on a regular basis, but it will be mainly an online connection, right? So I say all that to say that they will at some point make an approach over money. You helping them with a business idea, you financially becoming a partner with them in a business or real estate venture or something like that. Or they may even, if they feel like you're tenderhearted enough, they may even just hit you up with a sob story about sad times, right? And so somehow there's something here about you giving them access to funds or you sending funds for one purpose and it's not really what the money is intended for. This person is about this person is a con artist for the most part, a very smooth one, a very charming one who is after money. And so you're either their target now or you will meet this person soon online and they will target you. Okay? Keep in mind, they're going to be charming, they're going to say things in the right way, they're going to do things in the right way, but when that first talk comes through about finances and money changing hands, that's how spirit is saying you're going to know this person is full of shit. They're a con artist and you need to get away from them. Don't fall for it because they may even try you up front. You know, they may even try you with a small amount, something that's very nominal, that doesn't mean anything, that seems very innocent. That is just to start pulling you in. They'll ask you for that nominal amount and they may even turn around and pay you back, but they're just drawing you in further because once that financial door is open, they intend to walk through it and hold up the joint. Okay? So that's one thing. And with that being said, you do also need to be very, very mindful and careful about someone that you meet romantically online. You need to be very careful about them knowing where you lay your head at night, where you live, because again, like that, and it was spirit telling me to say, hold up the joint because that's very a real possibility that someone may target you in that way to rob you. So I want you Tauruses to be very, very careful, especially with your online connections, okay? Don't be thirsty for love to the point where you let down your guard and open yourself up to danger. This is either financial danger or in some cases it can turn into a situation of physical danger. Okay, so you are now forewarned, Taurus. If that's been helpful, please on your way out, hit that like button and thank you for joining me tonight. So let's get our messages for our Capricorns. Capricorns. We have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Interesting card. Along with the Seven of Coins in the reverse. All right, so you're done waiting, Capricorn. Like, you're done waiting on something to materialize for you financially. You've done some investing of time and energy. into a project. And for some of you, it's into a job. And for those of you where it involves a job, this looks like a situation where you've asked for a raise and you've been waiting maybe for some time for your bosses to do the right thing, right? And now you're like in this page of coins energy, you're like, I'm done waiting. I no longer like what spirit is telling me is you're letting this situation go prematurely. All right. Your impatience is causing you to walk away prematurely. So if you're walking away from a job or you're walking away from a financial project of some sort prematurely, just know that the Wheel of Fortune is waiting to come in for you behind this. So that's an increase in, this is a significant increase. So the reason why the raise may be taking longer than you would care for it to take is the fact that it's a bigger raise than you actually asked for. So someone in the background is working on your behalf, but it's taking them longer because perhaps it is, like for instance, let's just for the sake of figures, let's say every year the most you could expect is a 5% increase in your salary as a raise from your company, right? So maybe someone's going the extra mile to get you 10%, right? And it's taking a lot behind the scenes for them to convince the right people to do this for you. Or perhaps it's like a 5% raise plus they want to add a bonus onto that, a cash bonus. It's taking longer to get it done because they are asking for more than is usually allowed, is what I'm hearing. And so they're not telling you this because they want to present this to you, you know, number one, as a nice surprise. But number two, they're asking for it, they're working on it, but they weren't 100% sure if they could actually get it. So they didn't want to get your hopes up and then you'd be disappointed if they only came through like with the raise, okay, and not the extra. So keep that in mind. And for those of you on a financial project, what I'm getting here is what has seemed like a long investment of your time and energy and maybe even your money into something, it really hasn't been as long as it feels in your mind. Okay. And if you look at the timeline on most projects that are similar to the one that you're involved in, what I'm getting there is you would figure out that in comparison, it really has not been a long time, right? You're probably hitting the mark right about average. So you walking away would be throwing away this investment. Again, that Wheel of Fortune was behind the scenes waiting to come in. So you'd be throwing away your Wheel of Fortune in this project. So Spirit is cautioning you to address your impatience because that years will have you throwing away your Wheel of Fortune. All right, Capricorn, if that's been helpful for you, please go ahead and like this video on your way out. All right. All right, next up, we have messages for Leo. We have messages for Libra. And we have messages for Pisces. All right. Let me shuffle here. Wow, Spirit's got a lot to say. This has been really good so far. If you're enjoying the live, please go ahead and hit that subscription button if you're not already subscribed to my channel. But if you are subscribed and you're enjoying the live, please go ahead and just drop me a comment and let me know that you'd like more lives. This is actually the first live on my channel, so it's something that I've been thinking about doing for quite some time, but I don't know if that's something that's wanted by the tribe, right? So if you let me know that you like the lives, I will definitely invest time in more lives for you guys. All right. So we've got some messages here for Leo, Libra, and Pisces. All right. Leo, your messages came out almost the same as someone we just did. That's weird. Okay, because I shuffled. So, Leo, your messages come by way of the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Sorry, something caught my eye there. And the Five of Swords in the reverse. And so let's start here. So, Leo. All right, Leo, don't be mad at me. But with this Five of Blades in the reverse, this Five of Swords in the reverse, what I'm seeing is some lies, or let's just say mistruths, we'll call them that you, Leo, have told are about to come back to haunt you. All right, I'm just seeing very strongly that you're going to be caught up by your own words. Some things that you have said, and these are definitely not true statements, are going to come back, and there will not be a way around it. And your instinct is going to be to run from the situation, Leo. For some of you, this will be in a love situation, but I'm not seeing that for a lot of you. I'm seeing this as a situation with either family members or in a work situation, and that's going to be the case for most of you. Okay, there will be some of you that it'll be a love situation, but there's some untruths, mistruths, lies, stories, fabrications that you gave someone in response to being questioned. Like, I felt like someone sat you down and questioned you about a specific occurrence. You knew the truth of the situation, but you lied to cover up something that you did, or you lied to cover up something that someone that you care about, like a friend or family member, did. Okay, but you were privy to the truth. You chose to lie in order to smooth the situation over, and that seemed to work out at the time. But these truths are going to come up, and it's going to reveal the fact that you lied, and then you will be in the hot seat, Leo. Yeah, with the Tower clarifying, you're going to be in the hot seat because everyone will see, like, this is a big deal. This is a huge shakeup, and everybody will see and know that you lied. And then for many of you, the blame for the original situation in which you were lying is going to be pinned on you, because it's going to be like, well, why did you lie if you didn't do it, right? Why would you lie about this for someone else? And this is no small matter, Leo. This is something big. And let's just say it like this. I'll say this as nicely as I can. If you are, Leo, not a person that is prone to telling lies, if you are a person that mainly walks in truth, and you just did this, like I said, to cover someone else's back, then you know exactly what I'm talking about here, because this was something that came up as a huge deal at the time. And you told your lie, and you were convincing, and you may have even done it for what you perceive to be the right reasons, right? To save someone else's hide. But this is going to come back to haunt you, because you're not going to, once the lie is exposed, you're not going to be able to explain your way through why you told the stories, right? As smoothly as you you know, it's not going to be a smooth way for you to actually explain why you lied the way you did, is what I'm saying. For those of you who lied to cover your own tracks, well, you're going to get caught up in these traps. Like this whole thing with this tower card, it looks like a trap, right? It just looks like a trap going up in there. It would be like a situation where you can't get out of. So your lies, in other words, your words are going to have you trapped in a way that you can't get out of it. So for some of you, unfortunately, what I see is, because like I said, with this tower being here and it's a major arcana, this is no small situation, which tells me that whatever this is, there are big consequences behind it. And so what I am seeing is some of you will need to secure attorneys. It's that serious. Some of you will need to secure an attorney because it puts you into a horrible situation now. So you're going to have to defend yourself against something way bigger than you. And people are going to be pissed about these lies. They're going to be pissed, and they're going to be pissed at you, and they're going to be looking for blood. Okay? So that's what I'm seeing here, Leo, and you need to be cautious, because the only way I can see this really is that the situation with you not telling the truth has already occurred. I feel like that is a past occurrence. And so now we're looking at, you think everything's okay, right? You said what you said, and it may have been some time ago. So now you're like, okay, well, that situation, we got through it. Well, think again, because you did not. So this comes up as a warning from spirit, because I feel like for some of you, in order to survive this situation, and especially for those of you who may have lied on behalf of someone else, at least try to come up with some type of plan to help yourself out of this tower when the tower blows up, okay? That's why I believe Spirit is bringing this up here tonight, Leo. All right? Best of luck to you with that. And on your way out, you've been forewarned. Please go ahead and drop me a like. All right, so our next message is for Libra, and your messages come by way of the Knight of Swords in the reverse and the Two of Cups in the reverse. Huh. All right. So, Libra, this involves a relationship, and for most of you, this is going to be a relationship of romantic type. And what I'm seeing here is your mouth getting you into trouble. Plain and simple. Your mouth getting you into trouble. And because this Knight of Swords in the reverse is, I mean, the Knight of Swords energy can be very sharp either way, upright or in the reverse. But in the reverse, it's especially trying. It's harsh. Like you lose it with someone that you're involved with romantically. And now this person is like, you know what? Forget Libra for good. Like they want out now. And I think that's an unintended side effect of the words that you choose to speak in that moment. This has not happened yet, Libra. It's an unintended side effect of the words that you choose to speak in that moment, because in that moment, you're pissed, you're angry, or you're just fed up with something, frustrated, and you decide to go in, and you make a conscious decision at that moment to just go in on that person. And while you're like, I don't care, in that moment, as soon as that moment is over, Libra, you're going to care. And what happens because of the things you say, the things you say are things that you will not be able to take back. And this person has no interest at that point in forgiving you. The hurt has been truly inflicted. And this is going to end up hurting you, Libra. So, yeah, I want to say to you, I want to warn you about this. Spirit wants to warn you about this because this is avoidable. And that's why the warning is here for you, Libra. This is an avoidable situation, as far as you deciding to use your anger in that manner against this person that you do care about. Because I do see the caring. I think that most of you even see some type of future with this person. But you think in that moment, it's like it's like this delusive, this delusionary thought of, oh, if I don't go hard right now, then this person is going to think I'm a pushover. So I'm going all the way in. No, that's not the case. And that thought is not the truth. So to avoid this happening, this breakup, in that moment, you know, make a different choice, because otherwise you're going to lose this connection. And I don't see this connection coming back. I don't see apologies fixing it. I don't see this person having any interest in you after that. And that's going to be something that's going to be really painful for you, Libra. So again, it's coming through as a warning because Spirit wants you to understand this is avoidable. It's all in the choice that you make in those moments. So now you've been warned. For those of you who may not be involved in a romantic connection, you need to be very careful about how you speak to a child that you're close to, okay? Because what I'm seeing here is hurt being inflicted to a child emotionally, because when you are in anger over something that has happened, and maybe you have a right to be in anger over what has occurred, but you tend to speak to this child in a manner that is even derogatory. And what you're failing to take into account in those moments is the damage that you're doing to that child's self esteem. All right. This feels like a situation where a child loves you, but they are being damaged because, and that damage will not show through until they're older. And by then, the damage will be quite significant. Um, and you will be aware of it at that time when they're older. When you start to see just how the damage is there, you'll be able to trace that back to interactions where you have, where things that you said really cut up this child's self esteem, their feelings of self worth. So please, Libra, be careful because I just feel like much later on, you will really regret that. And this is very strongly coming through the ancestors because as they look out for you, they also look out for others in your family line. And so this feels like either this is like maybe Libra, your child, or a child that you're responsible for taking care of, a niece, a nephew, someone like that, a familial tie that your ancestors would also be very concerned about as well. So this again is a situation that you can take into your own hands and change. And even if this behavior has been going on, Libra, you can change this behavior and minimize the damage that's already occurred. All right, Libra. All right. So please, Libra, do give me a like on your way out. Our next message comes for Pisces, and we have Mama Coin, or the Queen of Pentacles. And we also have Papa Gourd, which is the King of Cups in the reverse. Wow, Pisces. So this is very clear. This is a connection with the feminine and the masculine being at odds with one another. And the masculine, whether that's an actual man or just a person who stands clearly in their masculine energy most of the time, whoever would uh, identify in the more masculine, they are a person who seems very focused on financial matters, or having um, what how am I want to say this? Their focus may be on material things and having nice material things and things that they can show off is what I'm getting in particular. Things that they can show off to those around them. And so they have a strong focus on this. And then the feminine, and this may very well be you, Pisces, because this is no, I'm sorry. I don't I wanted to say this may very well be you, Pisces, because this Queen of Pentacles is coming across as the feminine, whether you're male or female, standing in the feminine, being more nurturing and more concerned about, yes, we do need to have nice things. However, we don't have to have them in excess, number one. And number two, we don't have to have them just purely to show off to other people. We just have to have the nice things to sustain us. And yes, we should be comfortable. We should have things we want and desire, but we don't have to go out of our way to rub others' faces in it. And I feel very strongly like this is coming across very Piscean in this particular reading, even though this is the water card, the gourd, the cup. But this person is coming across very focused on you know, how they can look to others, how they can appear to others, even to the point, Pisces, where they're not stepping outside of the relationship. That's not what I'm trying to say, but where they are spending a lot of time out with others, right? Spending time away from you. If you are cohabitating with this person, they're spending a lot of time away from home. And a lot of the activity that they're involved in is around being around other people and flaunting what they have, and, you know, that kind of thing. So, this connection, it feels like there's been such a long period of time where you've been able to hold this together, Pisces, and it really feels like you've been holding it together, just like grasping at it and holding it together. It's taken a lot of effort, but this feels like it's becoming overwhelming for you, Pisces. And this connection, just as they are, one is upright, one's reversed, it's like they're going to like separate from one another. That's how I'm feeling with this. And with this being the queen and the king, you know, for a lot of you, you may have been with this person for quite some time, and it will be a shock and surprise to a lot of people around you when the split occurs. And then for others of you, this feels like this masculine counterpart is not going to want to have the official split. They would be that one that would just be like, listen, we'll live in the same house. I'll move out of the bedroom, and you, I'll move into the guest room and you have your own room. And it's like, we're just going to stay together for the sake of not wanting to look to other people like they have failed in this connection, right? So it's kind of like a staying together just to be together. And then what you would find, Pisces, with this person is that they would actually start to, if you were to agree to that type of arrangement, they would actually start to see others and carry on secret affairs. And that, you know, I don't know, Pisces. I can't tell you how to think about it, but if that's not something that you want to see, then the route is, when you get to the point of not being able to manage this connection any longer, it's best to just go ahead and end it. That's what Spirit is saying, right? Spirit's not even coming forward here to say, just go ahead and split up right now. It's saying they're saying when you are to the point where you're like, this is not going to work, know that you need to just go ahead and end it, versus agreeing to some arrangement to save face with this person. Because even though they're going to try to endear to you, like, you don't want to be a failure, I don't want to be a failure, it's really more about them at that point, and they will not be saving your face, they'll only be saving their own, right? So they'll be stepping out and having these affairs. And even if your agreement is, okay, we're going to have separate rooms and we're going to live our own lives, but we're not going to do it in a way that embarrasses each other publicly, this person will become, they'll be doing shit that other people will know, and it will be embarrassing for you, and then you'll be living through that whole thing. So Spirit is basically saying, when it's over, and let it be over, and don't try to make any side deals to save face with this person, because this person is only concerned, Pisces, with saving their own face. All right, that felt rough because that situation, wow, it feels like it gets really tough for you, Pisces, at times. And I'm really sorry about that. I'm really sorry about that. All right, Pisces, if that's helped you at all, please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already on your way out. All right, so our next connection comes for Cancer. We have Aquarius messages, and we have Sagittarius messages. Okay. All right, let me get some shuffling in here, Spirit. Let's get some messages on the board for my lovely Cancers, my lovely Aquarius, and Sagittarius. All right. Let's see what we got for you guys. Bear with me one moment. Spirit's directing me to continue shuffling here. If you did something special today for your ancestors on Day of the Dead, I would love to hear what it is. Like, did you give? For those of you who may have like an ancestor altar and have an ancestral practice, did you like give them any kind of special offerings today? I would love for you to comment and let me know. All right, let's get these messages. Spirit for Cancers, Aquarius, and Sagittarius. Oh, wow. We just had this message. All right, Cancer. Your messages come by way of the Five of Swords in the reverse. And we just saw this card for Leo. And the Three of Swords. Was that the complete message for Leo? Now, you guys saw me shuffling. So we got these messages duplicated, and these messages for Sagittarius are the same as we just went through as well. So those signs that I just went through, if you're involved with this Sagittarius or with this Cancer, that's just double confirmation. But let's go ahead and go through Cancer's messages. So first of all, with this Three of Swords, Cancer, I'm seeing where many of you have been very hurt in the area of love. I think this has already happened. This pain, this breakup, this heartbreak of the Three of Swords, this betrayal for many of you of the Three of Swords has already occurred. And it's been something for some of you that occurred quite some time ago, maybe even a year, 2 years or more, right? But it's still very significant in the impact that it had on your heart, right? And the impact that it had in the way that you think about relationships in general. Spirit is just showing me there was an intensely painful ending for you. Intensely painful. Many of you have taken the time to work on yourselves, Cancer, and get through this pain and hurt. And I'm sorry, when we have something like that occur, that's a really bad breakup, we a lot of times can get through a lot of that pain and heal ourselves to a certain degree, but never 100% completely, right? Or at least it doesn't feel that way. But I feel like with this Five of Swords in the reverse, many of you have released so much of this pain of the lies and the cheating and the things that happened that were out of order in that connection. You've successfully done the work of releasing so much of that to where many of you are just starting to feel normal again. You're not waking up every day crying. You're not waking up every day angry. You're not waking up with all that torrent of emotion that you had felt for so long. And Spirit's commending you on your progress there, right? They're commending you on the fact that you have done your work and successfully gotten through this in that way. And with this Knight of Swords in the reverse clarifying, along with the Hermit in the reverse, many of you were hermits for some time while you took care of this. You really didn't have the desire to be out and about and meeting people. I mean, we are still in a pandemic, but even with that, things have been opened up for quite some time. And many of you just didn't even feel like being out and about. But that's changing now. You feel like getting out. You feel like doing things. You feel like mingling. Hopefully, you're going about that in a very safe manner. And you're not about to hold your tongue for any situation, like romantically meeting someone new. If they're on some bullshit, you're not about to be the one to sit there and smile and think, oh, can I overlook that? Or can I work with that? Or they didn't mean that. No, you are going to call a rat, and you're going to go on about your business. Like, that's the place that you're in. And it's funny because Cancer's like, or Cancer, I'm sorry. It's funny, Cancer, because the ancestors are saying, good for you. We need you to be in that energy. And this by no means is that hurtful and like you're just going out inflicting pain on others purposely. This is just like, you know, call a duck a duck. This is, listen, let's just call this what it is. And I'll just let you know I'm not about to play these little reindeer games with you. You're either going to treat me the way I deserve to be treated, or we're just not going to do this. And it's just a very direct energy. No anger behind it is what I'm getting from Spirit. It's not anger and resentment behind it. It's just healthy in the sense that you're just being direct. A lot of people may react to you as if you're just this crazy, hurtful person, but it's, you know, when you're direct, a lot of people can't handle that. They can't handle directness. They're not used to directness. They're not direct. They're not used to people that are direct. People put on acts for each other every day, all the time. So when they come into contact with someone being very intensely direct, they don't know what to do with that. It feels abrasive to them. You aren't putting it out there in an abrasive manner, is what I'm getting. But Spirit is like, bravo. Listen, trust yourself because of what you've been through and because of the work that you've done on yourself, the good work. Trust yourself. You can vet people and come to a very sound conclusion as to whether or not they belong in your life. Trust yourself. And if you get in to a connection with someone and they are proving that they don't belong in your life, trust yourself because you know how to cut them off. And it doesn't have to go 2 years, 5 years. You can cut them off within the short amount of time that you're able to see that type of behavior coming forward. So Spirit is like, listen, we're here for you. We're always here to give you guidance. But at the same time, you got this, Cancer. You got this. All right. Don't be afraid to get out and mingle. There's no reason for you to be a hermit. As long as, again, you're out there being safe, Cancer. That's my little 2 cents. As long as you're out there being safe about it, there's no reason for you to be, holed up in the house, not taking visitors. Okay? All right, Cancer, good job. Those are your messages. If that helped you at all, Cancer, please go ahead and subscribe on your way out. And I thank you for being here tonight. Our next messages are for Aquarius, and they come by way of the Six of Wands in the reverse, along with a little staff, which is the um, Page of Wands. I'm sorry. I was just caught by that imagery there for a moment. Let me take this in. So we have the Six of Wands in the reverse, along with the Page of Wands. And this Aquarius is plain and simple talking about very impetuous action getting you into a situation where you're in trouble. Others are going to recognize you, but not in a positive manner. And your actions, these impetuous actions, will not be celebrated by those around you. In fact, they could get you into trouble if you're not careful, okay? But they definitely, at the very least, will get you recognized for not making wise decisions. It's going to make you look bad, and you need to be careful. In fact, Spirit is telling me that for many of you, you've been on this cycle now for quite some time where you are acting very arrogantly and impetuously, and you've been in this attitude of, so what, I don't care. It's people just gonna have to deal with me for who I am. No, they really don't have to. Hold on one moment, for me, please, because my battery's running out and I want to grab my charger. Okay. Let me get this plugged in so I don't lose you all. Bear with me for a moment. Sorry about moving the camera around. There we go. All right. All right. So Aquarius, back to where I was. So we're talking about, some of you have been acting in a way, many of you actually have been acting in a way where that other people around you would consider to be selfish, and you've been in a whole cycle of, well, I don't care as long as I'm getting by and getting what I need and what I want. So what? Everybody, you're on your own. I'm on my own. I'm going for mine, and you're on your own. And so this whole Six of Wands in the reverse moment is a big deal because I don't think you've truly been checked on your behavior. I think some people have attempted to check you, Aquarius, and give you the what for, but it's just kind of rolled off you. But with this Six of Wands in the reverse, I'm just seeing a situation taking place. It hasn't happened yet, where again, this this way of being that you've been embodying really does get you into a situation where you are, where the arrogance of it, the impetuousness of it, the way that your actions weren't well thought out are put on display rather publicly in a negative light. And this does stop you in your tracks for a moment, because this certainly is not the type of recognition that you were bargaining for. And the way that it is dragged out in front of everyone is something that you're going to find bothersome. It's going to show you the error of your ways, and it's going to force you to deal with whatever has you in this mode of thinking to begin with. So let's get some clarification and see if Spirit can tell us more, either more detail about what this is. And of course, there are so many of you Aquarius in the collective that this will be different for everyone as far as what the situation is that this happens in. But let's get some clarification around if it can be avoided, because that I think would be most helpful, right? Is there a way not to have to go through this, Spirit? I mean, you're letting us know. Thank you. But is there a way that Aquarius can avoid going through this? Like, why go through that? And I'm getting a very specific message. So for those of you who may be in some kind of public spotlight, I don't know, you have some type of celebrity status maybe, or maybe you have an online presence where you have a lot of followers and you're recognized. Um, this will affect you in the sense of it'll go straight to your pocket. Like, this negative publicity is going to be something, I think there's for some of you in that situation specifically, those who follow you or relate to you or are fans of yours, they they expect some of this from you because this is what they see on a regular basis. However, um, in this particular situation, it's like going too far. It's going too far with it and then not being able to take it back once it's been done. And then the negativity of it will cause you to lose followers, fans. It'll hit you in a very real way. And it again, it's public, and there will not be anywhere for you to hide. Okay, so that's the type of energy that we're talking about here. So if you don't have any kind of public following like that, just think about that in regards to your personal situations or maybe work situations or something like that, because it's the same energy. So it's like going too far and not being able to hide once your actions are thrown into a spotlight for everyone to see in a very negative sense. It's going to change a lot of people's, what I'm seeing is, in all, for the collective here, it's going to change many people's opinion of you, Aquarius, in a way that's negative, and unfortunately in a way that you won't be able to convince them otherwise later on, right? And so you might be saying, well, so what? Whatever people think, they think. No, I feel and I see here, and Spirit's showing me, Aquarius, you will be bothered by this. This is not something that you just shake off and keep it moving. This, whatever occurs here is a very serious matter, right? And once it comes out, once that cat is out the bag, so to speak, you can't get it back in. For a lot of you, this is going to be love, or it's going to affect again, the love of others towards you, right? So some people, say you have an attitude to where people expect you, let's just say, for instance, this is an example. Say you have an attitude where people expect you to be brash, all right? It's just like they already love you for that, or they already expect that from you, right? But this affects, again, emotionally how they're feeling. And then, most Ace of Cups, and I'm just noticing it in this, I've seen this card many, many times before in this deck. In most Ace of Cups, there's this cup overflowing with water from the heavens or whatever. But this is rain, and it's rather dark in this card. So that's what I'm picking up on here. Like, oh man, when it rains, it pours, because when this happens, man, it's going to feel like an ongoing storm. There's going to be a lot of fallout here, and you're going to be forced to deal with it. Okay. We also have the King of Cups in the reverse, which, whether you are feminine or masculine, Aquarius, it's the energy of this King of Cups in the reverse. And this is an energy of someone who does go too far. This is energy like emotionally being out of control, is what I'm seeing. You, Aquarius, being in a situation where you're emotionally out of control and you go way too far. And here's the Seven of Cups, clarifying as well. And so now it's like you're standing before the jury. And for some of you, that might be literal, from what I'm hearing, where you're standing before the jury and you're pleading your case, and you've got all these people staring at you with blank stares because they're like, no, Aquarius, I don't buy what you're selling, and I don't give a damn. You need to go down for this. That's the kind of energy that I'm seeing here, Aquarius. Um, all right, Spirit. I'm pulling a lot of cards here, but give me the card on. Thank you for clarifying what the situation more specifically is. Spirit, if you would give us something. I mean, I know you're bringing it up, Spirit, to warn us, but is there a way to turn this around? How does Aquarius turn this around? I have the King of Swords. And what this King of Swords is talking to me about is putting in a concerted effort instead of, where is it at here? Instead of walking around in this page energy, you have to be mindful of your actions, your thoughts. The King of Swords is a very responsible king. Like, he gets stuff done because he's responsible. He thinks about how his words, his thoughts, and his actions affect others. He's not just out here all willy-nilly doing whatever he feels like. He's very constrained. You can see some military association here. So that's kind of like, if you think about the training of a military officer, not that they all follow that, but the training of a military officer is one more of restraint, knowing when to pull back and when to push forward. And this is what you need to make a concerted effort, to get into the energy of when you're making decisions. This King of Swords, when you're making decisions, you need to be in that space instead of in page energy, which is immature. And in this case of this Page of Wands, acting impulsively. You need to take those moments to think through from beginning to end where you're going with something, or what this action could cause, what kind of ripple effect it could have. Yes, it takes more thought, it takes more consideration, and there will be things that you just pass on doing because it doesn't play out in the way that the King of Swords would like it to play out. But it will save you from this in the end. You have to start being responsible. Enough with this bullshit, Spirit is saying, of walking around thinking you can say and do exactly whatever you feel just because, I don't know, you've got a hair up your behind today, right? You have to think about how it all plays out and make the better decisions, the more responsible decisions, the classier decisions, dare I say, Aquarius. All right. Best of luck to you, Aquarius. If this has been helpful and you have been forewarned, please go ahead and subscribe on your way out. All right. We're up to Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, your messages come by way of the Knight of Swords in the reverse and the Two of Cups in the reverse. All right, Sagittarius. Let me pull a clarifier here. I feel like, okay, I know we just had these two cards in the reverse with another sign, and now it was just in the last round here, and I already cannot remember who that was. Was it Leo? I don't remember. But whoever that was, that lets me know that for those of you Sagittarius who have a direct personal connection to that sign, that is a double confirmation on that message playing out for you as well with that person. Okay. But let's get some messages otherwise, like if that's not your message here tonight. Bear with me while I pull my clarifiers. All right, so we have the Six of Cups in the reverse, and we have the Seven of Wands. All right, so what I'm getting here, first off, Sagittarius, is a feeling of having to defend yourself against something that you don't feel at all prepared. Like, you don't feel like you have a defense prepared. You don't feel like you're equipped to defend yourself. You're feeling very all alone in this too, because with the Six of Cups being in the reverse, it's like I don't have my support system around me there to help me, hold my hand, or help me, advise me in the way that I should go. And it's a feeling of feeling very lost. And again, a very disconnected feeling with this Two of Cups in the reverse, like disconnected from those that you consider close. So this situation comes about very quickly, and for some of you this is going to be the result of a younger person in your life. I feel like a teenager or maybe early 20s age range, but teenager came to mind really strongly. So for some of you, this is a teenager that you're connected to, whether that's a sibling or a niece or nephew or someone like that, or a child for some of you, your child rather, that you are closely connected to, that you have an intense connection with. And this person acts in a way that's very reckless and throws you into a situation of defending them and defending yourself. So I see a very specific message here. I don't know who this is for, Sagittarius, but it's kind of like you have a teenager that goes out, maybe takes your vehicle, goes out, drives a little erratically or crazy and causes an accident. And now, you know, you're forced to deal with the damage that came out of that, defend yourself financially against suit, and defend your teenager against legal action being brought against them as well. So it just feels like a very trying situation because it's one in which you're feeling alone and, like I said, disconnected, because it's kind of like everyone around you is kind of like, hands off, let Sagittarius deal with that, you know, like I'll support you from afar, Sagittarius, kind of thing. And so you're feeling really disconnected and all alone. And this feels like the weight of the world on your shoulders, Sagittarius. For others of you where it doesn't involve a younger person, I'm just seeing to where someone comes through in a way, and this may be in a more romantic situation. Someone comes through and proves themselves not to be who you thought they were. You really had a you really have a very strong opinion of this person. And I'm seeing two specific types of situations with that. And the first one being, someone that you already know, of course, maybe someone from your past who you already know, who you broke up with, and maybe Sagittarius, we don't all get out of relationships and it's never our fault. So maybe the breakup of the past was deemed your fault. And so you've been wanting to make amends and be back with this person, but as you are re engaging, you find out some things about this person that really turn you around as far as who you thought they were and them not showing themselves to be that at all. And so it really kind of throws you for a loop, and emotionally you feel disconnected, and like what's up is down and what's down is up kind of energy, right? And so it may take you a while to process that. So spirit is saying take your time with that, and don't jump in with both feet just because this person reemerges in your life. With others of you, very similar, I feel that this is a person who you would have called a friend, right? And you had a platonic relationship with, and then the two of you make a concerted decision to try to take it to the next step. And again, this person in your eyes changes. They become something not in a positive light, but they become something that you didn't think they were, or not become, but they reveal themselves as something that you didn't think they were. And this impacts you. Like, I'm just seeing this whole situation, either way that goes, Sagittarius, as impacting you very strongly. Like, you're really put off by this, and you're really hurt because you have this intense desire for this person, and then all of a sudden it just kind of like everything, like I said, is what's up seems down and what's down seems up. All of a sudden you're like in this situation where you're like, what in the actual hell? Why didn't I see this before? What had me blinded in this way? And so, Sagittarius, the warning from spirit, from the ancestors, is they want you to go slow. They want you to make sure, and specifically for you, Sagittarius, they want you to make sure that you do not ignore the red flags in that situation. Okay? Don't think, well, I know them and that's not what they meant. No. If you see a red flag present itself, call it what it is, a red flag. And then consider carefully whether it's a deal breaker or not. Okay? All right. Save yourself a lot of pain and heartache, is what I'm hearing Spirit say to you, Sagittarius. You have been warned. And if that has been helpful, please, Sagittarius, go ahead and give me a like on the way out, or subscribe to my channel if you have not already. All right, so our next messages are coming up for Scorpio, Gemini, and Virgo. All right. I apologize for that background noise. I've got a refrigerator that I think is about to go out, and it's making these loud noises. So I apologize because I know it sounds weird if you're able to hear it. In fact, excuse me for one moment while I just close that door. All right, not Sagittarius, Scorpio. All right, Scorpio. Let's get some messages for you. Let's get some messages for my beautiful Gemini and for Virgo. So let me get the shuffle on. And we're almost done here. These are the last 3 signs. If you have enjoyed this tonight, please go ahead and let me know that in the comments. You know, I have enjoyed doing it, and I would like to bring you more lives if that is what you want to see. All right. All right. Why are these cards all of a sudden wanting to stick together? I don't know. Okay. All right, Spirit, let's get messages on the board for these guys. What do you want to say, ancestors, to the collective of Scorpio, the collective of Gemini, and the collective of Virgo? All right. All right, Scorpio, your first message comes by way of the 3 of Coins in the reverse and the 5 of Coins in the reverse. All right, Scorpio. What I'm seeing right off the bat is your decision to not work with others can cost you financially. Let's dig a little more into this. Yeah, your decision, this hasn't happened yet, okay? So Scorpio, this is an upcoming situation. You'll be presented with a situation in which there definitely be other people involved, and it's kind of like this thing where either you pool your money together with these other people, or the 3 of you or 4 of you work in tandem to support each other through a project in order to get to this, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And so there's 2 ways that I'm seeing this come through. Number 1, you either refuse flatly to be involved in this, and therefore you don't gain anything from the pot of gold, right? Which does turn out to be legit. Or you do join into a project of that nature, and because there is distrust and there's distrust working behind the scenes here with the individuals involved, it kind of like everybody ends, it falls apart because people can't work together well. And then the financial investment that you make is lost because the project never successfully concludes because everybody's kind of backbiting and being distrustful of one another. And Spirit's letting me know that that is the bigger message here. So for some of you, a few of you, you will be involved in the scenario where you decide not to get involved from the beginning and you lose out. But for the most of you, Scorpio, the situation will be the one where you get involved and then the situation falls apart due to the fact that everyone is working against each other behind the scenes. So in that case, I would say that, you know, before you make a financial decision of that matter, don't base that particularly on a tarot reading that's general. You would want to get a personal reading on that, okay? So you would do that when the right timing to get that type of reading is when the opportunity presents itself. This is not something that I'm seeing has come to pass yet, even from the beginning. So the opportunity hasn't even come into play yet, is what I'm seeing, Scorpio. All right. But Spirit wants you to know either way, the financial loss here is pretty big. So it's not just a few coins, it's quite a lot of coins, okay? And so you want to be aware of that before you get involved in anything. You want to, like I said, the best course of action would be to do a personal reading with a reader that you trust so that you can look at all the players involved in your own personal situation, and from there you would know how to interact. But in other words, Spirit is saying, Scorpio, that this is a situation that's going to look good to you, and you're going to want to jump in and invest and get involved. Even those of you, like I said, there's just a few of you for this message, but even those of you who don't end up getting involved and lose out on the jackpot, initially when you hear about the offer, you're going to be like, oh, that sounds amazing. Yes, yes. But then something will pull you back at the last minute. If not, just your own fear will pull you back at the last minute. Okay, but these are two distinctively different courses of action. So there's one in which you decide not to get involved and you lose that pot of gold. And then the other one is where you get involved and you lose because of the project not completing. Okay. And so, again, with that variance like that being so broad, you would want to get a reading to see which category you're in when this offer presents itself, right? You can say, well, I'm going to lose the pot of gold. But if it is a situation where you are simply turning down getting involved due to not trusting or doubts, then knowing that there's no risk there and the pot of gold you can take part of it, that would financially benefit you, okay? And again, when the offer presents itself, if you're feeling like, okay, I want to do this, should I do it? Is it a good idea? And then the personal reading reveals that, hey, you guys are going to be at each other's throats. People are going to be acting crazy. And in the end, it's going to cost you. That's valuable for you to know before you even get in with that, okay? And so, again, it's all about you having that balance and being able to look out for yourself, Scorpio. Um, and I think what's going to make the decision in either case difficult for some of you Scorpios is that, and this is some of you, the person bringing the offer your way is someone that you have an intense amount of trust for and respect. You don't think that this person would lead you wrong intentionally. And I'm not getting a feeling that this person is intentionally trying to lead you wrong by bringing this offer to you. It's more or less like they don't even foresee some of the things that can happen in this case, especially of the case where, people are backbiting, because, people can start out just fine on something, and when there's money involved, it can get crazy real fast. So I don't think that that person that you trust, Scorpio, is intentionally trying to mislead you or lead you down a wrong path. I think that, they're looking at it as um, a good situation, a good investment, and they're bringing it to you because they think you would benefit from it. They truly believe that. So I say all that to say again, that's where some of the confusion may come in for many of you, because this person who brings you the offer is someone that you trust. Okay. But Spirit's saying before you get involved, take a closer look at what can play out. Definitely get a personal reading. Okay. All right, Scorpio, those are your messages. If that has helped you, please go ahead and subscribe on your way out. All right, so our next messages are for Gemini. And Gemini, you have temptation, which is the devil in this deck, along with the 9 of coins in the reverse. Yeah, Gemini. Wow, this involves a romantic connection, and this involves you in a codependent romantic connection. You lose your footing as far as your independence. I don't think you go into this thing um, intending to lose your footing. I think you go into it, for some of you, you go into it purely as a physical thing. Like, it's all about the sex, baby. It's all about the sex. And you go into it with the intention of keeping it physical. And then you find yourself lost in this codependent situation. And for some of you Geminis, you're going to find that this individual lures you in with the sex. They lure you in with the sex. They put it on you real, real good, Gemini. And then they're hitting you up for the coins. All right. So codependency in that I can't take care of myself. I can't afford my own cost of living. Gemini, help me, help me. All right. Keep that in mind. For others of you, Gemini, I feel like you go into the situation again with the best of intention, thinking of the true romantic connection here, not just a physical thing, but you get caught up in this codependent situation anyways, because there's a lot of vices here in the person that you're with, and maybe even some of your own personal vices in a mingle. So if this person is prone to the same types of activities and vices that you are prone to, Gemini, that's where this comes into play, because their addictions to some of these things outweigh yours. So you may not even be addicted. It might be something that you just casually take part in, whether that's alcohol, whether that's drugs, whether that's gambling, whatever it is, whatever the vice is. Okay, no judgment. Maybe you take part rather casually in those things. You just, do a little here and there for your own personal enjoyment. And this person is more heavily into it. Okay. And when you're meeting and you're getting involved with each other, it's fun because, hey, I do these things casually, but this person also does these things and they get me on that, right? Or at least so it appears. But they are much more heavily involved in these things and potentially can drag your involvement into a heavier space. So now the two of you are in this connection and you have so much going on in the way of vices, and you'd be surprised how they are able to lure you into these things more heavily. I mean, you feel like I've got it. I've got this. Like I said, this is casual. I've got a good head on my shoulders. You know, other people I'm around do it in a heavier fashion, and that doesn't affect me. But this person knows. I'm really concentrating on the woman in this card, her mouth, and you can see her lips are very red there. It's like her mouthpiece. She knows how to talk a good game, very smooth, is what I'm getting from that. So, Gemini, that's what I'm seeing here, whether you're feminine or masculine. I just pulled that out as the energy of the card. This person has a good mouthpiece. They know exactly what to say and exactly what to do, um, in order to get you to partake in the way that they partake or they would like you to partake. Um, and again, for many of you, you might find yourself in a position, masculine or feminine, of holding down the financial side of these addictions, right? Like your money gets mixed up in making sure that these vices, vices usually cost money, Gemini. So your money gets very involved in sustaining a supply here. And because of that, you could be impacted negatively financially, even to the point where you are no longer able to stand on your own and take care of yourself. All right. So this feels like going down a rabbit hole. This feels like a very slippery slope. And this feels like something you need to be very careful in regards to, Gemini. This is no light situation that I'm getting at here. And with this Wheel of Fortune card clarifying, it just further clarifies to me that the things I was saying before were the truth, that this is going to look like big fun. Everyone's having a good time until they're not. I've got a handle on this until I don't. Wheel of Fortune, what goes up comes down. Your money is up and then it's coming down. All right. And sometimes when you're on the underside of this wheel, it is really rough. It feels chaotic beyond anything else you can compare it to. The Wheel of Fortune is a major arcana. So when you go down on the underside of this wheel, you may be down for a minute, longer than you would care to be down. Trust me. That's a complete cycle of being down. And sometimes cycles last a really long time, especially if you're being hard headed, Gemini. So you've been forewarned, Gemini. Be careful about the allure. Be very careful, Gemini. It's going to all be very, very sexy. Be careful. All right. If that has helped you at all, Gemini, please make sure that you subscribe on your way out and mash that notification bell. All right, our last sign up is Virgo. Last but not least, Virgo. And your messages come by way of the Seven of Wands in the reverse, along with the Shaman, which is the High Priestess. Okay. Virgo, thank you for your patience. You guys are amazing. Anyways, with this Seven of Wands in the reverse and the High Priestess, Virgo, I feel like many of you are learning to be less defensive and trust in your own inner divine knowledge. You're trusting in your connection with the divine, and they are so pleased about this. Like, they are very, very, the feeling that I get is one of like the ancestors applauding you for this. Right? You're allowing your connection to the divine to smooth out a lot of your nervous, anxious edges. You're becoming more mellow, many of you. And if this process of mellowing out has not started yet, they're showing me that this is what's going to be occurring for many of you Virgos in the upcoming days, weeks, and months. And they are just so thrilled. And many of you have been inviting those messages from your spiritual support system, your ancestors, and they're there for you. They want you to understand very clearly that they have your back. So if you've been working on this process of opening up to the divine in this way and allowing your defenses to be down and being more trusting in your daily life due to a connection with the divine that, you know, you feel or you hope will never fail you. And possibly you're feeling a little discouraged at this moment because you haven't seen or felt the strength of it yet. Know that this is your sign from spirit that they have your back. Now, does that mean that nothing negative ever happens to you? No, that is not what that means. That just means that you have this divine connection that allows you to go within and get the answers to deal with anything that is happening to you, for you, around you. Okay? So, you've got a spiritual hotline, so to speak. They are there and they want you to know they're answering your calls. Okay. Sometimes in those situations, our feelings can mislead us because we always feel, you know, you listen to some gurus online or you watch some movies or whatever, and it's this big emphasis on, I feel this, I feel the presence, I feel the connection. And sometimes you very clearly will, but other times it just doesn't feel like anything's happening, but it is in a very strong way. Okay. And a lot is being orchestrated behind the scenes by your ancestors, from what I can see. So they want you to understand that and not be dismayed and continue to trust in them and continue to invite them into your space and into your thoughts and your prayers, because they are very strongly saying, we got you. We got you. Don't feel alone. You're not alone ever. We got you. Don't feel like the answers aren't present, because the answers are always there for you. We got you. They want you to know to continue to go down this path of spiritual opening and awakening and do so without fear. Beautiful way to close out this live, Virgo. Thank you. Thank you for that, because that gave me hope. I'm not a Virgo, but that gave me hope too. So, Virgo, if that has helped you here this evening, please go ahead, if you haven't already subscribed, and subscribe. Mash that notification bell. I thank you for waiting all this time to the end to get that message. And wow, what a beautiful message. It was like worth it. Oh my gosh. All right. Thank you for everyone who joined me tonight. I truly appreciate your presence. Again, if this is something that you want more of, please let me know in the comments. And until next time, my loves, enjoy the rest of the Day of the Dead, the Night of the Dead. Make sure you say a special something to your ancestors tonight as they are present with you. All right. All my love. And until next time, you all take care.